we have officially reached the final week of regular season football.
The battle for the NFC's 7th and final playoff spot comes down to Week 18.
And unfortunately, we've done so on a rather somber and tragic note. With the life-threatening injuries of Damar Hamlin on Monday Night Football, TPS wants to extend its deepest thoughts and prayers to Damar, his family, and all those impacted by the traumatic event that unfolded on Monday. There really isn't an easy way to transition from here, so please bear with us. And let's take a look back at the rest of the week that was. Alright, so you TPS fans finished the week 9-6, edging out our pickers by 1 game. This means we're giving out 1 prize this week to Jackson Schreiber, who, let's be honest, is probably just a Green Bay Packers fan, but nevertheless, he made an epic prediction that Justin Jefferson would get held to under 20 yards and the Vikings would lose by over 14 points. As far as the rest of you are concerned, you have 1 more week to earn some TPS bucks. This time though, for the final week, things will be a little different. For starters, because it is the last week, in addition to all the regular weekly prizes, we'll also be offering up a $100 Visa gift card to 1 lucky winner if you, the fans, can hold on for the overall lead this season. You're currently ahead of us by 2 games, 150 to 148. So just don't blow it, and someone will be walking away with a $100 gift card. Because it's the final week, this will mark our final TPS versus the world video, which means we'll be announcing the winners in the community section next week rather than in a video like we usually do. So stay tuned to our community section to find out if you're the lucky winner. And speaking of lucky winners, if you'd like a chance to be one of them, here is what you have to do this time around. Number 1, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Number 2, like this video. And number 3, comment below with your best suggestion for next year's edition of TPS versus the world. We want to hear what you guys think. What would you change? Is there anything we should add? All comments and suggestions are welcome. This is just as much for us as it is for you guys. After all, we can't have TPS versus the world without you guys, the world. So with that all out of the way, let's get into this week's games, beginning with Kansas City Chiefs at Las Vegas Raiders. The Kansas City Chiefs are headed out to Sin City for a date with the Las Vegas Raiders, who appear to have had some new life breathed into them with the promotion of Jarrett Stidham to the starting lineup. But neither the TPS fans nor experts think that Stidham and the Raiders will be able to knock off the heavily favored Chiefs, who will be trying to sneak their way back into the number 1 seed in the AFC. Unless Andy Reid, for some reason, decides not to go pedal to the metal for the 1 seed and rest his starters, this should be a relatively easy win for the Chiefs. Final prediction, Kansas City 33, Las Vegas 24. Tennessee Titans at Jacksonville Jaguars. The second half of the season has not been pretty for the Tennessee Titans, but they can reverse all that ugliness with a win on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The TPS fans think that Jacksonville secures the AFC South crown by defending its home turf, but you know, we aren't buying it. While the Jags have rallied nicely and Trevor Lawrence is playing the best ball of his career, this one will come down to experience. And Tennessee has been there before. They've owned the AFC South for the past 2 seasons and made the postseason 4 of the last 5 years. Jacksonville is on the come up, but it isn't their time quite yet. Tennessee takes this one 17-14. Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. Lock of the week. Man, this one might get ugly, folks. This one is our lock of the week and a big-time consensus pick here. You know, that the 49ers, who are still playing for home field advantage, will take care of business at home against the dumpster fire that is the 2022 Arizona Cardinals. Arizona trotted out David Blau, their 4th different starting QB last week against the Falcons, and while they haven't officially decided who will be under center in San Fran, I don't think any of them are fit to face the nasty Niners D. San Fran will dominate this one by a final score of 30-3. Cleveland Browns at Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are set to host the Cleveland Browns this week, and against all odds, Pittsburgh actually has an outside chance at qualifying for the postseason, something that seemed inconceivable midway through the season. 71% of the TPSers think that Pittsburgh does its part by winning at home, perhaps speculating that Kenny Pickett will continue his solid play. But our experts don't foresee Mike Tomlin pulling another rabbit out of his hat. Cleveland just has too much talent for Pittsburgh in this one, and win it 13-10. Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals. The Baltimore Ravens are headed to Cincinnati with an outside chance at sneaking up on the AFC North crown. Nearly 85% of the voters, however, think that the Bengals will take care of business against the Ravens. And yeah, our experts agree. Joe Burrow is built for pressure situations, and there is no doubt that he'll be ready to fight tooth and nail for as many home playoff games as he can get. The Bengals take a close one at home, 24-21. Minnesota Vikings at Chicago Bears. The Minnesota Vikings, fresh off a beatdown at the hands of Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, are headed to Chicago to face a Bears team that should, and likely does, have no intention of winning this game. The TPS fans and experts are in alignment that this one goes according to plan, frankly, for both sides. Minnie gets one more in the win column before the postseason, and the Bears roll over in hopes that they get the best draft position possible next year. I mean, we might not even see Justin Fields for this game, or he might get pulled early. Either way, our final prediction is Vikings 28, Bears 13. Dallas Cowboys at Washington Commanders. The Dallas Cowboys are headed to DC to face the Commanders, needing help, but with an opportunity to back into the 1 seed. The World and TPS both think that Dallas should have an easy victory in this one, considering that the Commanders are probably going to trot out the ghost of Carson Wentz back out there again. And even if Taylor Heineke gets the nod, Dallas just has a way better team. Micah Parsons should have no trouble ripping through the Commanders' O-line. Cowboys win easily, 23-14. New England Patriots at Buffalo Bills. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots are headed to Buffalo to face the divisional rival Bills in a win-and-in scenario. Unfortunately for the Pats, neither the World nor the TPS experts are giving them much of a chance against the Bills. New England has been way too inconsistent this season to think that they could get it done against a Buffalo team that is still fighting for the top spot in the AFC. Final prediction, Bills 30, Patriots 21. Los Angeles Rams at Seattle Seahawks. The LA Rams are off to the Pacific Northwest to face Geno Smith and the Seahawks, who need a win and a Packers loss to qualify for the postseason. The World likes Seattle to do its part in controlling its playoff hopes by winning at home. TPS, on the other hand, thinks that LA will pull another shocking win out of its hat and take this one by a final score of 27-20, thus eliminating Seattle from contention. New York Jets at Miami Dolphins. The New York Jets are headed down to South Beach to face a Dolphins team that can still back its way into the playoffs with a win and a Patriots loss. The TPSers are backing Miami in this one, which is curious because at this point, it doesn't look like Tua Tagovailoa will play. And we've seen what they look like without him. And it hasn't been pretty. Our experts aren't so sure that Miami is up for the task. Even though this young Jets team is obviously disappointed to see a promising season fall by the wayside, Robert Saleh will find a way to motivate them to play hard enough to beat a Miami team that's led by Skylar Thompson. Jets win on the road by a final score of 23-17. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Atlanta Falcons. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are locked into the 4 seed and headed to Atlanta to face a Falcons team that is out of contention in what is effectively a meaningless game. The TPSers like what they saw out of Brady, Mike Evans, and company last week and think that they'll build some momentum heading into the postseason. Our experts, however, think otherwise. Tampa is a veteran team that understands how meaningless this game truly is, and plenty of guys will be either resting up for playoffs or wishing they were. The Falcons take this one by a final score of 17-13. New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles. In a shocking turn of events, the New York Giants have officially clinched a playoff berth and are going to the Link to play the Eagles in a game of zero consequence to them. Philly, on the other hand, needs to win if they want to secure the 1 seed in the NFC. With Jalen Hurts expected to return from injury and all that is at stake for Philadelphia, it isn't a huge shock that 80% of the voters in the community and our experts think that the Eagles will win this one. Our final prediction, Eagles cruise to a 24-10 victory against a Giants team that may be resting some key players. Carolina Panthers at New Orleans Saints. The Carolina Panthers are headed down to the Big Easy for a matchup with the New Orleans Saints, with neither team having much really to play for. The TPSers think that Sam Darnold keeps the level he's miraculously found in the past couple of games, but to us, this has all the makings of a reversion to the norm. Carolina's offense will falter, and the Saints will do just enough on offense to get the win, finishing out 20-16. Los Angeles Chargers at Denver Broncos. When the NFL scheduled this game for Week 18, I'm sure they were anticipating a hell of a matchup with serious postseason implications. That, along with the Broncos season, hasn't exactly gone according to plan. And thus, we have yet another consensus pick here. that LA takes care of business. Brandon Staley has said that he doesn't plan on resting starters as the team is trying to move into the 5th seed. Denver did look good last week against the Chiefs, but we believe that to be more of a case of Kansas City playing with its food rather than anything else. Chargers cruised to a 31-16 road victory to close out the regular season. Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. The Houston Texans are headed to Indianapolis for a matchup with the Colts that will only have implications on draft position. The fans are backing the Texans. Meanwhile, we're on the Colts. Admittedly, Houston has looked competitive the last month or so, but that all came crashing down last week against the Jaguars. And while things haven't been any better for Jeff Saturday and the Colts, they're still the more talented team. That may not be saying much, but we still believe Indy wins a tight one at home, 20-17. Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers. Finally, we have the dog of the week, and what will be one of the most highly anticipated games of the entire season. Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers, with the last NFC playoff spot on the line. The TPS fans like the Lions to continue their winning ways after a thorough beatdown of the Chicago Bears last week. However, our team is on the pack. Considering Detroit will need help from one of the league's bottom dwellers, the LA Rams, our experts aren't so sure that they'll be in the right headspace for this one. Aaron Rodgers has seemed to have found the right balance of voodoo or witchcraft or whatever it is that's brought him back to form. And this week, he'll keep the train rolling. Packers take a close one at home, 24-23, and punch their ticket to the postseason against tall odds. So that's it, folks. Our final week of picks for the inaugural 2022 season of TPS versus the World. Who will come out on top and finish with a better overall record? Well, we're about to find out. Whoever wins, though, we just want you all to know that we had a blast doing this with you, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. And remember, subscribe, like the video, then add some suggestions for next year's edition of TPS vs. the World. And be sure to check back in on the community section next week to see if you are a lucky winner. Good luck!